Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. The fundamentals of the code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things. Welcome, my friends and Hexicans, to Chatting with the Captain. Got an exciting night tonight. We're going to bring you a young entrepreneur from the Hex PulseChain community who's actually building things on Hex, or I'm sorry, on PulseChain. Really exciting stuff. Met him in Atlanta and just got off the cruise with him. Just phenomenal young man, him and his partner. Sorry, Van won't be on with us. It's going to be Chris only. Van had an incident he had to go take care of, so he will not be on with us tonight. But we'll get to talk with Chris about their whole project. Say hello to everybody in the chat room. Good to have you. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate all of you. Oh yeah, the magic number 37. Still banging the numbers the same way we did from the beginning. Appreciate all of you in the in the chat room. Appreciate all of you supporting the show. Trying to bring you the content that you guys want to hear. So here's what's going on. Richard launched this new L1 called PulseChain, right? And we're looking for adoption. We're looking for projects. We're looking for people that are going to do things that are going to bring eyes to the PulseChain. And look, I've been around from the beginning of Hex. I've been around since 2014 in crypto. Actually, 2009 and 8, before crypto came out, they were trying to shill me in-game cryptocurrencies. So I've been around the game for a long time. And I know what it takes for a crypto to actually advance and move on and grow and develop. First of all, it's got to have fundamentals. It's got to have a community that can support it and back it up and help promote it. Got to have a good founder. And if all of those things aren't in place, either the community fumbles, crumbles, the founder either scams out or dumps on your head and leaves and walks away. They built garbage anyway, and they just keep promising. The community infights so much where it just destroys itself during bear markets. It's all the same story. It's all the same shit over and over again. I shouldn't be the one that has to come up here and say it to you guys, but that's what happens. It's how it goes. So guess where we're at right now? We're in the biggest bear market that I've seen, the deepest cutting bear market that I've seen. Maybe because I'm so invested into it now. I don't know. Maybe because I'm at a different place than I've ever been in the market, and it's affecting me deeper, but I know it's affecting a lot of people because I can see it. See it in the X space. I can see it in all the Telegram rooms. I can see it within our own community. People that used to be kind and friendly are now being assholes, basically. Stop it. Knock it off. It's not going to help things. Why is tearing somebody else down making you better? I don't get that. I really don't get that part of what's going on in the community right now. I know that when we started, that we had a lot of opposition. We had a lot of FUD. We had a lot of haters. We had a lot of people coming at us hard. So we had to fight. We had to fight hard. We had to have thick skin. We had to learn how to bounce back. We had to educate ourselves. And Richard was a great educator in teaching us what was the right way to do crypto, what was the right way to understand DeFi. And because of that, we became pretty harsh. I must admit, I was part of it too. Danced on coffins, eat shit and bark at the moon on stream, yelled and screamed, tore up letters from Gemini on film, did all kinds of stuff like that. And got to say that those probably weren't all my best moments. They were emotional moments, but they weren't my best. I'm learning this game. the streaming game, the influencer game, the, getting out in front of the community game. But I'm seeing some really harsh shit out there that's unnecessary. We've got an L1, guys. You know what that means? That means that stuff is going to be developed on it. And what has to happen is trust needs to be developed. And I know, don't get me wrong, I get it. 99% of crypto is garbage. 99% of crypto is people trying to scam you, trying to promise you something, trying to move your value from somewhere else to somewhere else, so that they can scam you or they can rug pull on you or whatever. I get it. I understand. However, we're promoting an L1 here with PulseChain. That means we need to start allowing people to go out and do their thing and fail or succeed. They don't need everybody backbiting on them, trying to pull them down before they even get started. Let these things happen. Let these things develop. Let's see what they do. You don't have to invest in them. In fact, you should be warning everybody like I do. I've only promoted one crypto up here, and that's Hex. PulseChain is a, I'll look at the, hello, there we go. Back into focus. PulseChain still has to prove itself. I've never told anybody to go out and just load up on PulseChain or PulseX. These things need to prove themselves. Hex doesn't. Hex has proved itself. So as far as I'm concerned, Hex is the only crypto that has proven itself. Now, we have to let all these other things. Now, PulseChain is doing a great job. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's less than a year old. You're going to go out there and get excited and tell everybody about something that's less than a year old? No, we got to wait and see what Scooter does. So what I'm saying is that we all need to be cautious. We all need to tell everybody that, hey, it's okay that people are building on things. It's okay that people are bringing things to the community that may or may not add value. I don't know if some of you remember, but when Hex first launched, Richard Hart actually promoted Trayvon James going out there and promoting Hex. Oh, and everybody was up in arms, but they didn't say anything to Richard, of course, because, Trayvon was, at that time, he was the BitConnect boy. Nobody trusted him. And now he's, Richard said, hey, let him redeem himself. And now Trayvon is what he is. Everybody gets to make their own opinion of him based on his actions and what he's done. I have no say so either way. He's brought eyes to the space. Do I like all of his content and all the stuff he does and things he shills? Probably not, but I don't watch him that much, So, but Richard gave him a chance to go and prove himself. And then you could take him or leave him. That's up to you. But it's ugly when you're publicly out there all backbiting. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest, because it's not a good look on the community. And I'm not saying to go out and promote everything. But what I'm saying is give everybody a chance and shut the fuck up. Give them the opportunity to make their mistakes or to fail. And if it looks like an absolute scam or a rug pull, then just stay away from it and warn everybody, hey, look at this, has all the red flags. But there's a way to do that with some class, some style, a little bit of objectivity. Just do it in a way that's not going to make you look like a damn fool or make this community look like damn fools. We got something good here, guys. We got something good. We've got the best L1, in my opinion, out there. It's just got to prove itself, and it's got to bring users over. And how are we going to bring users over with most of you guys scaring them away? Something to think about. Something to think about. So anyway, that's my little rant. But look, I appreciate all you maxis too. I want to say that too. Before you guys, I don't want you guys to think I'm busting on you, because I love our maxis. I love the fact that they're vigilant. I love the fact that they're in your face. I love the fact. But guys, use a little discernment in how you treat others. It's okay to be stern. It's okay to be concerned. It's okay to expose, but doing it in a way with discernment, with a little bit of professionalism. Let's grow up a little bit. All right. I'm not saying to go ahead and grow up all the way, because I'm not. Fuck, I'm 56 years old and I wear a bandana and run around playing rock and roll and shit, you know? So just let's try and keep it a little more civil so that it doesn't look so super duper scary, because crypto and this tech shit is already scary to the masses. And I don't want any more of you crypto nerds in here. I want regular, normal, average, everyday people. Why? Because they're the masses, and they're the ones that are going to bring the value back here. They're going to bring the financial energy, the capital. Not you guys. You guys are done buying. You guys are scraping up nickels and dimes every week to kind of put into this ecosystem. We're all waiting for the institutions now. Now they're cheering on the institutions to bring in the money. Come on, Grayscale. Keep shoving it in there. Come on, BlackRock, please, BlackRock. Oh, the master, the king, the epitome of everything that we in crypto are supposed to hate. Bring it on, BlackRock. Bring it on. We want it so bad. The Bitcoin maxis are on their knees waiting for BlackRock to get here. And it's sad. I want the masses of regular people that need our products to come in here and get their hands dirty and figure out what this is. That's what we need. That's what we need. All right. That's my little 2 bits. Community, I freaking love, like I said, I love all of you. Good, bad, ugly, because we're all needed. And you're all needed. I think we need to use a little more discernment these days. Here's the other thing I know. Richard's coming back. He's coming back into this space, and he's going to start speaking to things like this. You watch. He wants his L1 to be popular, to be utilized, to have things built on it. He already fixed Hex with it. So now he wants the L1 to be used. He's coming back. He's going to start talking again. He's going to start telling you guys what he wants and what he's going to do. He's going to face every one of his detractors, and you know how Richard's going to do it. He's going to do it in his style, with facts, with his opinion, with fervor, zeal. He's going to lay it on you when he comes back. There's a reason for his absence. He did not scam out and leave. Richard's got some timing going on here with something. Where are you going to be standing when he does come back? I know where I'm going to be. I'll be right here where I was when he left. Saying the exact same things. Supporting him and his projects the exact same way. But not destroying all of everything else out there. Now, my statement for the next PulseChain tour is Hex is better than Bitcoin. I see Brasology's in the chat room. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. And when I say that, I want that to hit in a way that, yeah, people are stung by it and maybe even a little pissed off, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about why I know Hex is better than Bitcoin. I know that that's not going to sit right with a lot of people, with a lot of institutions, with a lot of things out there, but it's the truth. And us Hexicans, we know it. We know the code's better. We know it's more secure. We know it's cheaper, faster. We know all that. We know it. So we need to speak to that. We need to tell the rest of crypto what that statement really means. Because this ruse of Bitcoin being the ultimate, the all-knowing, the all-giving crypto has to stop. This let's adopt old tech has to stop. It's about technology moving forward. And that's why I'm going to bring my next guest up here and let you guys know about somebody who's actually doing something on the L1 that is PulseChain. Ladies and gentlemen, my new friend, we just got off the cruise together. And like I said, we met in Atlanta, and then we just got off the cruise together, and he spoke on stage at the cruise at the presentation. My buddy Chris Powell with Project I. What's happening, bud? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm absolutely fantastic. Sorry you had to hear me rant a little bit, but things have been a little hectic here at the bottom of the bear market. We all get a little rubbed a little raw, but yeah,
No,
sometimes.
I definitely understand, that seem to happens all the time.
Yeah, so well, let's get into you, Chris, because that's what we're here for today, is talk about what you guys are doing, what you and your partner Van are doing. But first, let's go back and do the whole. I want to know your pedigree, where you're from, like your roots. Where are you really from? Now, I don't care about when you started crypto right now. I want to know where you're from, who you are, and get to know you a little bit so that people know. See, that's the thing. We get these developers and these founders of coins and crypto projects, and we don't really know who they are, and I think that's important, that we have a little bit of a relationship with each other first, and then we can start understanding where they're coming from and what you're trying to do. So give me a little background on your roots.
Okay, so my name is Christopher Powell. I was born in LA, raised in St.
Oh,
Louis, Missouri. So I lived in Missouri for about 17 years. Moved to Georgia my senior year of high school back in '09, well, '08, going into '09. Went to college at St. Louis University. So I did my senior year in Georgia, and then moved right back to my hometown for college for a year. But I started going for meteorology, and then long story short, pivoted a little bit, transitioned to physics, got my bachelor's. Actually, today's my 3-year anniversary of graduating. So got my bachelor's in physics, and then at the same time I was studying blockchain. So
congratulations! 3 years of graduation.
yeah.
Real quick, let's go. Let me jump back a little bit. LA, where at in LA you from?
So my family was born. Well, my family was mostly like they grew up in like South LA. I still have a lot of family on my dad's side still there. We were making jokes that if I wanted to, I probably could just go to my families real quick and see some of them before I went back to Atlanta. But I didn't want to just spring up on them and anything like that. But um, yeah, I have family everywhere. Really, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. South LA is where my roots are, in the wood, Inglewood. That's where my family started out down in there. So right on. Okay, so
Mhm.
graduated college meteorology, man. I mean, so were you when you take a meteorology major? Is that like because you wanted to be a weatherman on TV, or what's that all about?
Funny enough, I get that asked all the time. I actually wanted to do a lot of stuff in the background, but I mean, I was open to it if the job was presented to me. I didn't mind going on, in the front, just like, hey, today's forecast is 56 with partial cloudy skies. It is 60 now with 50% chance of rain. Like I didn't mind doing anything like that, but I really like doing a lot of the math and the science in the background.
Nice, nice. The funny thing is I actually when I worked at a radio station, I went and visited the people that did the radio weather, and they're all in a room, and they all have their little time frames that they did their weather, and they were just sitting there in their office and had their little microphone and thing. They boom, one of them would go live and do the whole thing, the little radio voice, da 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 da, boom, turn it off, and they're sitting there talking to you. And then they quiet, and the next one do their little thing with the next radio station. Yeah, it was interesting to see how that whole world exists. But so you get into physics,
Mhm.
and that takes you out of college and into what meaningful job? What did you get out of college?
So crazy enough, uh, nothing actually really came out of it per se, like as far as jobs. I so
Everybody tells me.
Funny enough, so happened to be studying blockchain at the same time. I mean, these classes were really vicious. I had to spend like 3 out of 5 days, like just pulling overnighters. But at the same time, I would have my like school laptop and my personal laptop, just playing, homework. And then at the same time, I was studying the basics of blockchain and whatnot. They didn't even have any courses related to blockchain at school, so I had to teach myself. But yeah, it was really nothing that came out of it when I graduated. So I still was, funny enough, I actually still was working at Amazon up until a point until I graduated. And then from there, I kind of
Like
was
a
just doing
box
a lot of,
thrower?
yeah, I was
Okay.
still doing a lot of like freelancing stuff from there. But at the same time, I also was tutoring people and then also teaching people about like blockchain and whatnot, just on the
Were you
side.
were you tutoring people in calculus?
I actually was, yeah.
Oh yeah?
I've taken 10 math courses, yes.
You had a little trouble with calculus though, didn't you?
Yeah, so at first I did. I had failed Calc 2 once, but after, look, I'm the type of person that if I fail once, I'll remember I figure it out and keep going as long as I can. So
Yes, and that's why I asked you that. Because
yeah,
then you ended up, so you calculus kicked your ass, and then you went out there and kicked its ass so much that you were out there tutoring people in it, right?
yep.
Good work, my man. Good work.
Exactly.
Good work. I like that. So what interested you in the blockchain? I mean, look, what was going on at the time in your mind? What was making you think, okay, blockchain is a technology I want to go chase down? Because I mean, here you are, you're technically, you can go anywhere in life and you choose blockchain. What was going on there?
So funny enough, I was tutoring someone in math. It was a seventh grader, and I was just tutoring them in algebra. And I saw somebody with a massive desktop at Starbucks, and I'm just looking like, at first I'm like, man, this dude's silly. He got his whole like computer set up at Starbucks with like a whole 20-inch TV. Um, but then I started looking at what he was doing, and I saw some charts, and I'm just like, man, that look like stocks. Let me go over there and see what he's doing. So I went over after tutoring, and I, I asked him like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm studying charts. I'm studying stocks and bonds and crypto." And I'm like, "Crypto? What's that?" And he just, explained a few little cryptos that had came out at the time. And so eventually I just went home, I bought some, and I just saw it increase in value within like two or 3 weeks. This was like December 2017. So I caught the very end of that run.
The bull run,
And
yeah.
and I was, after that, I was hooked. I was just like,
Oh,
wow.
just enough time to catch you, right? Because then if you'd have been 2 weeks later, man, you would have been like, oh, forget this thing.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like my little $60 turned into 300 in 2 weeks. What is going on? So, from there, I was just like, okay, I like this. I'm going to study as much as I can about this. So eventually,
Mm.
I just studied it while I was still in school, graduated, got some certifications, was able to teach people, and just one of the things I I like learn and just understand is like the best way to learn is by teaching others. So that helps me a lot. And so that's essentially like I just continue to just keep moving forward like that. But yeah, I'm hooked. I love it. I love the space. I love talking to people, connecting with people that love being in this space. They're open-minded. They see that the current financial system is crap, so they want to go into something,
Yeah.
alternative that is much more fair than the one that we're in now. So
Hmm. Even with all the scams, rug pulls, and promise coins out there, how do
I
you feel
mean,
about all that?
they do happen, and it is unfortunate. It does show bad faith in certain aspects, certain regards with when it comes to some of the individuals that you know do this malicious things. But I think overall, um, decentralization is very important. Community is very important. That's always going to be, to me, it's always going to trump the bad actors.
So being as smart as you are, and being a developer, what do you think happened? So like you're in the middle of your project and launching it and whatnot. What do you think happens to a person that makes them say, you know what, screw it, I ain't going the good route on this. I ain't bringing value. I'm going to extract as much value as I can. Excuse me. I'm going to wreck people with this. How do you think that happens? Are you seeing like anything in the process that's making you feel like, oh man, I'm going to go greedy on this one?
I think it's just
Excuse me.
diligence, patience. I think a lot of people, they get so caught up in the rat race and wanting to just see how fast they can accumulate, value, quote unquote value over time, at a short period of time. But as far as me, I'm in it for the long run. I'm in it for the long game. I like to see myself and just think like, okay, how can I build something that will last into a certain, long period of time? Because I think that's what it's all about. If especially with this young market, this young technology, blockchain in itself is very young. Even though you can kind of look back and see that they had early renditions back in like the 60s and 70s, but
Mhm.
blockchain in itself is still very young towards the masses. And if we want to have a mass adoption, like you're mentioning earlier, it's going to be new people, but it's also going to be uh, amazing companies that act on good faith, that actually want to stand out and stay in this for a long period of time.
Yeah, and I think bringing products that have market fit are important too. So let's do that. Let's talk a little bit about your two projects and what you've got going on. First, tell me about you and your partner and how you guys came together and this whole thing started.
Yeah, so Van and I, funny enough, we actually met in college, but we didn't talk. It was just a small little meet. We went to the same community college back in 2016, and he saw my car at the time. I had a 1986 Honda Prelude, and it was pretty clean for its time. Always I was a detailer at the same time, so I
Wait,
always kept my car
86,
clean.
was that the one that had the four-wheel steering?
No, so that was actually the years between, I think, 87 and 89 or
Oh,
90,
okay. I
something like that.
remember that one.
I
They
had the generation before that.
right before it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But someone had put a note card on my car and was like, "Nice Prelude, bro." And years later, I was talking to Van or whatnot. He was like, "Wait a minute, didn't you have like a red car?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." He was like, "I think I met you at community college and I put a card on your car." And I found a picture. Funny enough, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I sent the picture to him because I did take a picture of that card. He said it almost made him cry. But you know, fast forward some years, Van and I worked at the Atlanta Blockchain Center. Shout out to Atlanta Blockchain Center. And at the time he was working at MailChimp, and he basically, he worked remote. So he was just like, "Hey, I'm bored. Come up to the Blockchain Center." I'm like, "Okay." So I went up there, and I'm looking at like at the TV, and I see like these containers, like these Docker containers, just a lot of code. And meanwhile, like a little bit before that, I used to work a lot with blockchain nodes, working for different companies and making guides to create blockchain nodes. And so I'm looking at the TV. I'm like, "Van, are you working with nodes?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are these Web3 nodes?" He's like, "No, these are Web2 nodes for my job." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So then it just had me thinking. I'm like, "Man, let's create something. Let's make a blockchain node company." And so my buddy Van, super cool, super awesome. He's just ready to go whenever. So he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I'm like, "All right, let me just get the markers. We're gonna write on the glass board and do something." So we had thought of, 30 minutes in, we thought of the name, Project Pi. The moniker comes from Raspberry Pis, because when we first started, we were selling physical nodes, and we were only doing physical nodes, and we were using Raspberry Pis. The company that we started with was a company called Presearch. And so, we started with that, and then I ended up drawing the logo on the glass board as well. We started writing up business plans, And this was all happening within like 2 or 3 weeks. Like this was happening super fast. You know, and then just from there, just kind of um, you know, trying different things out, just pushing different iterations of things, having new products, people purchasing our physical devices, and just thinking like, okay, well, we're doing pretty good. We're, you know, we sold about 15, 20 units. Let's see how long this, you know, continues, and let's try some, you know, try some more things out. You know, and then from there we pushed and pivot from the physical node route onto a more of a hybrid approach. We still want to do physical nodes because we understand that it's, you know, it's always good to have a physical standalone device. Everything just cannot be on the cloud or someone else's computer. So then we went more to having, you know, physical and cloud. And what we decided to do was we wanted to go against some of the like the larger players like Anchor and Infura,
Mm.
QuickNote. You know, they mostly deal with developers and having developers build on RPC endpoints or remote procedure calls. You know, so we had actually created a nice system where we actually was able to do it. We developed it on Project Hub, which is what we called it. That was our platform that we had individuals that will want to test our blockchain nodes and, you know, build applications. But I guess more recently, probably with I want to say like a week before the trip, our mentor, shout out to Marlon Williams, or Bar Chef, he came to us and he was just like, you know, one of the things that you guys, me and Van, should understand is that, um, you know, we're fully bootstrapped, by the way. So it's like it's not that we have like a lot of like capital to be able to like do so many things. So we have to be very strategic. But he mentioned to us just like find one chain at a time, focus on one chain at a time, master it, and then move on to other chains. And you know, that stuck with us for a good minute. And so then we just started doing some research and just thinking. And, um, you know, Van and I were already in post chain. I actually, I'm actually farming now. I was using 9-inch to do some farming.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, I was just like, okay, I'm already in the community. I have Hex. I locked it up, but you know, what would be a really cool project or, you know, a product that we could actually build that still keep the ethos of Project Pi, but, you know, cater to a community that um you know need these services and want to continue to boost and foster growth onto the blockchain. And we had thought about it. We were like, well, there's really no single-sided staking on post chain. There's only farming. You
Mhm.
know, you have to lock up 2 tokens, or not necessarily lock up, but you have to basically put aside 2 tokens to farm and earn yield. So I'm just like, oh, well, why don't we do that? Let's not only build the single-sided staking, but also make it liquid. You know, meaning that no matter what, even if you stake it, you still have a receipt token, quote unquote receipt, or just a one-on-one pair, and you're able to still be able to use it for DeFi and other services. So that's when we decided to uh, pivot again. You know, that's the thing, is just like with startups, you're always gonna pivot. You always have to, you know, move around and whatnot. But that's that's just how it is, I guess, in the startup life. You have to make sure things work. But
Mhm.
you know, essentially, we end up going from there, and here we are now after the cruise, and just, you know, continually building.
Right on. So what? So you said you got into Pulse and you got into Hex and you guys started your project, and then what made you decide that Pulse chain was going to be the chain that you guys were going to build on? You're going to focus on one chain, you said.
For I say for me and Van, we just wanted to look at chains that, again, needed more growth, and then also knowing that PulseChain is roughly 7 or so months old. So, it just came out, and we're just like, okay, they're such an amazing community, a large community as well, but it's so new that I think that a lot of people focus more on the success of Hex and how it's a platform, but PulseChain is its own beast. It's its own
Mhm.
um, blockchain. So it's like it's different blockchain versus like an actual platform. So we're just like, okay, well, why don't we go and actually create something that is one on a newer blockchain, and also that, well, we see an opportunity where we can actually build something that isn't haven't been done. So um, you know, that was just one of the things that Van and I looked into, is just like um, seeing the community support, seeing that it already had a lot of growth on it. There's over 50,000 validators on there. So it's just like, okay, that is decentralized. Um, you know, that in itself is just right for blockchain
Mm.
to actually be built on, at least in my opinion.
So the physical nodes that you guys had put together with your Raspberry Pis, you obviously you made those for Pulse Chain, um, or you use those on Pulse Chain when you were developing them, correct?
When we first started, the Raspberry Pi ones were actually for other blockchains, but we eventually scratched those and actually used larger mini computers, because the Raspberry Pis at the time, now they have the fives, but the fours at the time were being price gouged heavily
Oh,
because it was just a short supply. So that's when we actually, use mini computers. But yeah, we use mini computers for the post chain validators.
so now are you actually making physical val? I remember last time we talked, you said, "Yeah, we're just doing nodes now, but we may be putting validators together." Are you guys putting validators together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, especially with what we're doing now, we have to put the validators together, um, just to build the
So
actual
so you guys are
platform.
going to host your own network of validators then.
It will, yeah, we'll essentially, yes, you're right, but it then also will be allowing people to participate within our network as well.
Yeah, are you gonna explain that one? The
Yeah, so
let's hear
the
it.
so
This is what's exciting, and I think everybody is gonna like to hear about this.
what we're essentially doing is we're providing liquid staking to PostChain. It comes with two parts. And before I even get into that, liquid staking, if you don't know what it is, essentially just allows an individual to still be able to stake an asset or earn yield while holding that token. So you are taking your pulse and you're staking your pulse for a one-to-one token pair. On our platform, it will be called ST Pulse. Make it simple, staked pulse. And normally, when you stake something, you have to leave it in something for a long time. Swizzle sticks, yes, essentially. So usually you have to lock it up.
Lock it up
And
or give it to somebody else.
exactly. And so, like, some people want to actually still use it. And
Mhm.
there have been times where I'm like, man, I don't want to take out my staked assets, but I have no choice. But what happens now is, with liquid staking, you don't have to lock that. Like, the token will be locked, but you still receive a receipt token in return. And that token, ST Pulse, will be accumulating yield over time. Now, you can still hold on to that token. You can still use it for DeFi applications. And in the future, one of the cool things is, if you were to purchase ST Pulse from an exchange, it will be as if you got it from our company, Project Pi, and the token will actually accumulate yield just from purchasing it off of the exchange. just because it's still a liquid token that's within our platform. So that will be some, really cool features that this liquid token will have. But the first part, again, is two-part process. The first part is the Pi staking. The purpose of this is to allow individuals to become a validator without having to have the 32 million pulse.
Mm.
I know that right now that's somewhere roughly around $2,000 or so. And, you know, I know a lot of people, for the most part, it's like, I don't think a lot of people can come up with the 2000. Some people can, obviously 2000, depending on the person, it could be a lot or whatever. But, to keep it simple, we are reducing that amount from the 32 million down to 8 million. So that'd be 1/4 the amount that you need to be a validator on our platform. So by doing that, you're lowering the entry, you're allowing an individual to become a validator. More validators are, definitely good and needed. It helps with keeping decentralization. And then it also allows for more access. There have been a lot of people that, not just in the post chain community, but just like from me teaching people about nodes, that have told me like, man, I wish I could learn about nodes. I wish I could like get into it. It's so confusing. It's so hard. And it's a lot of technical stuff that plays into becoming a validator. And so um, essentially with our platform, we will make it much easier to be a validator and lower the amount. And you still will earn yield, a certain percentage on yield. And by doing that, I think that would help to allow more participants into PulseChain. Now, to become a validator in Project Pi's ecosystem, you will have to also put in, you'll have to have the 8 million tokens, as well as you'll have to have the collateral token that we have called PPY, or Project Pi Yield. And that token is essentially the token on good faith. Like, you have to have that token to actually be able to become a validator. So you're putting up, let's say 1/4 the 8 million. So that's about $500 plus a certain percentage of PPY. And that still is lower than the $2,000 needed to become a validator. And, I can see where in the future, hopefully near future, the price of Pulse is going to increase. There's going to be more
Oh yeah.
activity. There's going to be more people on it. So when it does increase, let's say it increased by a factor of 10, a lot of people are going to be priced out. That 20,000 turn to 20, or 10, I'm sorry, that 2,000 turns into 20,000. For sure, you're going to be priced out. So it definitely helps to lower the barrier to allow more people to participate.
So let's back up a little bit and
Okay.
let's explain some things to newer folks so that if people don't understand nodes and validators, give me your 5-minute node validator pitch on why it's important to have a node or even to become a validator. Give me your 5-minute pitch on somebody who develops and makes these things and teaches these things. Give me your pitch on it.
Okay. So nodes in itself, blockchain nodes are essentially computers that have different functions, but one of the main functions is bringing stability to the network. I see
Mhm.
it as like, just a little small analogy is like, if your brain is the blockchain, then your nervous system, or like your nerves that's connected to your brain, is the network that connects to the blockchain. The nerve cells, when you touch a hot pot and you move your hand from that hot pot because it's too hot, is the nodes. So your fingers, when you touch the hot pot, is sending signals from those little nodes to your brain to say, hey, move your hand. Essentially, that's what's happening on the blockchain. You have nodes that tell the brain or the blockchain what's going on, what the activity, you know, the amount of transactions. So they're super important. Without nodes, blockchains are very clunky. So you have to have them. And then also just ensuring the stability, again, the stability and the overall health of the network. You definitely want to make sure that you have these nodes on the blockchain to show that it's healthy at the end of the day. The more the merrier. Now, as far as validators, essentially, they are what the name implies. They help to validate and keep the obviously still keep the blockchain healthy and running securely. And you want to make sure that you have those types of nodes on your blockchain as well. I know it's not 5 minutes, but essentially that's,
No,
you
that's
get the
good.
gist of it all.
Yeah, that's why I wanted people to understand the difference between the two, and why it's important to have them, what they're for. We have a lot of real smart folks on here. We have folks that are new too. So I wanted everybody. We're going to start talking nodes and validator, and some people's eyes are going to roll back in their heads. But I wanted them to understand that it's really just essential pieces of the network, guys, that you as an individual can help support the network by providing a node or a validator. And Chris here has actually made it easier for people to participate in that system, because the validating system that exists within PulseChain, it costs you 32 million pulse in order to create a validator. Some people have that. Some people have a lot more than that. Some people don't, though, but they want to participate. They want to be part of it, because I think that's what's important to understand about crypto, is that we all get to participate. We get to participate in the system. Like, for instance, Hex, you get to be the bank, you get to be the Fed, you get to be the investor, you get to be the bill collector. I mean, the whole thing is set up for you to participate. And then with PulseChain, you get to participate as a validator. You get to participate in the system itself. It's not so easy anymore in the Bitcoin world. When I first got into crypto and understood the Satoshi white paper and what was going on, I was like, oh, this mining thing is really cool. You're actually part of the system. The whole world's getting involved. You can do it on your own. You can go right from your computer. This is right when the miners were just starting to kind of come out, and they were making ant miners and all of these things. And so wanting to participate in that, it just kind of everybody got priced out. And now you have to be part of a pool. So it's very centralized. It's just, it's just not the participation system that I envisioned when I read the white paper of what crypto was supposed to be, when I read the Bitcoin white paper. Now, with validation, with the L1 that we are sitting on, everybody has the opportunity to participate. And you're making it even easier, especially as, like you said, things are ramping up. PulseChain is getting more expensive. We 100x, whatever it is, it's going to price people out. And you're going to be the guy that's going to be there saying, hey, you got your 200, 300, 500 bucks that you want to validate with? I got the answer for you. I like that. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So
Appreciate
there were
it.
some questions in the chat room. I want you to kind of answer. So first of all, they're asking you if this is a fork of Rocket Pool. It's not a fork of Rocket Pool. It's just kind of the same concepts, right?
Yeah, I mean, essentially it is like, it's a, it is a fork of Rocket Pool, but it also is more so, I would say, a fork of Gogo Pool. There are a lot of, like, um what do you call it, liquid stakers that, or liquid staking protocols on just different blockchains. I know with Rocket Pool is Ethereum, as well as Gogo Pool. That's for Avalanche, and a few others have just came out. Yep.
Okay. So now I know what's going to happen because of what you just spoke to when you were saying, hey, you take your pulse, you put it on here, we're going to give you this token. Explain the decentralization of your system and ease everybody's minds out there on what happens with the crypto, where it goes, what part of the code takes care of it, and how. One of the questions was explain how your company is able to do that with the price and whatnot. How is that being mitigated?
You say, as far as the price, how is?
So somebody's putting their pulse into your system.
Mm-hmm.
Is it decentralized? Is the code decentralized, audited, all that good stuff? What's happening there?
The code, yeah, the code will be audited. Right now, we're still in the early phases of actually building everything out. I actually, funny enough, was working on it today, and just continue to working on it. But yes, it's going to be decentralized and audited, just because at the end of the day, it's going to be a whole system of decentralized nodes. The in itself, you know, you have the nodes that individuals will be able to participate on within the Project Pi or Pi pool ecosystem. Yeah.
So again, explain. So the 1-to-1 is the token's going to go into the contract and then spit out the ST pulse, right?
Yes. Yeah. Again, it's going to be a 1-to-1. You know, person be able to put in their pulse, and then they would receive one ST pulse. So it would be a 1-to-1. And then at
And it
the same
remains
time,
liquid
yeah, and
in
it
their
remains
remains liquid
liquid
in their wallet.
as long as you hold it. Um, Meaning you can hold it, you can still use it. You know, we still have to talk to Liquid Loans, Power City, have them, you know, potentially partner with them, allow people to use it for their DeFi applications to be able to use ST Pulse, so that they can also use it in DeFi applications if they want to, in which they can use it again for whatever. But if they wanted to redeem it, then they definitely can redeem it. They could sell it, but they would be selling it with accrued yield. So they could sell it
Oh,
on
so the
exchange.
accrued yield actually moves with it.
Exactly. Yes.
So is it
So
an NFT or is it built on an NFT platform? Is that how it
no,
works? No.
no, it's built on basically ERC 4626, which is just uh, a protocol, fairly newer protocol that allows for votes and
Gotcha.
storing, basically storing assets. So that's
That
essentially
was
the
one of the other
contract.
questions.
Yeah, that's essentially the contract that's going to be used. That's
Right
going
on.
to, yeah.
When somebody was saying it will have admin keys.
Oh, so for sure, we're still discussing and talking. You know, we're talking to Marlon and talking to individuals or whatnot, because that's going to be important. You know, I think that when it comes to, again, when it comes to making sure that Project Pi and you know, anything that Van and I build stays in the long run, long game, you know, we want to make sure that we always ensure that um, our company is good to go, as well as it's solid. We're not trying to, again, we're not trying to rug anybody or do anything crazy out here. So, uh, you know, we're definitely going to be in the talks and the works right now with ensuring that there's not going to be a single admin key, or, you know, us holding that. So, but that's all still in the works.
Right. And you're still reaching out to other protocols and trying to get their support and whatnot. So hey, Liquid
Yeah.
Loans, Power City guys, Chris wants to talk to you guys. Hey, so somebody else also asked, will you have a limit of the nodes and validators? That's what Robert Keller is asking.
That's actually a good question. That's also in the talks. You know, again, we're still in full like development mode on this. Um, I would I would think that there would be a limit, you know, for our ecosystem, but again, that's still something that we're working on right now.
Right on, right on. So, well, we'll have to get you in touch with some folks because I love what you guys are doing. So, all right, so you put all of the things together. You figured this out. Now, as a young entrepreneur, this is your first entrepreneurial endeavor. Is this your first go at building a business?
Uh, Technically second time. This is my second go. My first go was basically it was me trying to sell blockchain courses to people.
Okay.
It was called Crypto Ed Courses. I wanted to make courses for people, everyday people, to learn about blockchain. And this is actually exactly a year ago. But it just fell short. We're in a bear market. A lot of people really just weren't interested in learning. So
Ah,
yeah,
don't
but it's not a problem. It's nothing to it.
don't turn your face up, man. Having one trip up or fail forward, I call it, because I've
Yeah,
been in many entrepreneurial endeavors, and some of them worked, some of them didn't, some of them fell flat on their face. But you know what I learned is that every time I fell, I was falling forward. I got back up and I learned something from that. I learned something very important from that, and I took it with me on to the next endeavor, and over and over and again until finally, we start seeing some success on things. So don't ever, turn your nose up to failure, because it wasn't. You were learning along the way. So that's what I wanted to get at. So would you tell me your experience? First of all, how you ended up at the Blockchain Center and your experience there, because I know that it has a lot to do with you moving forward and what you guys are doing. Because I want to give some cred to my buddy Marlon over there and what he's doing and what he's doing with you guys and these new projects, and just talk a little bit about that. So tell me your experience about getting to the Blockchain Center, how you ended up there, and what's been going on.
yeah. So funny enough, you know, again, I basically would be in community chats and talking to people all the time on Twitter, built up a nice following on Twitter just about blockchain and crypto and whatnot. But I was always looking for a scene, like just a actual physical location where I can actually go to people and basically be a nerd in front of them, like, hey, you like blockchain? Yeah, me too. But there really wasn't anything around. So I think just randomly, it was just summer 2022. I randomly just went on Eventbrite, and I typed in blockchain, and I saw the Atlanta Blockchain Center come up, and I'm like, Atlanta Blockchain Center? Since when do we have this? So
When is there a Blockchain Center anywhere, period? Because this is a unique place. I mean, it doesn't exist anywhere else. I've never seen it anywhere else except for in Atlanta.
yeah, so I went in there and I was just like, okay, they have an event. It's on Thursday. They have events every Thursday, except for Thanksgiving. But that's been going on just continuously. That's one of the things I love. But um, I went to that event, and I want to say this was the second week that they opened. This was a little bit after I think the Celsius crash.
Hmm.
And so it didn't really hit a lot of people, but it was a lot of people in the blockchain center. It was very packed. So many people that was um, loving it, just like they just hooked like myself. So I was just like, okay, uh, I definitely got to keep coming back. So almost every other week or every week I was just coming back to it, and then just from there built my startup there, and made some amazing relationships with some really cool people that I talk to uh damn near every day. So
Yeah,
uh
let me interrupt real quick. So I didn't know what to expect when we got there. I was thinking some kind of corporatized kind of deal going on. And then when I get there, it's like your neighborhood YMCA. It's like a community rec center, but built for crypto people and blockchain technology, and just everybody in there was just kind of beaming with being in crypto, and it was really cool, and it was a community center too,
yeah.
because I've told the story. We're driving there to get to Atlanta Blockchain Center, and we pass the big dogs, the Grayscale building with all the crypto names on it, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on right in this neighborhood with just crypto, right? And then we pull around the corner, we go into the neighborhood a little deeper, and now we're into where the houses are, where people are living, where the community stores are getting smaller and the big high rises are gone. And now right in the middle of almost a neighborhood is this building that's got, NFT graffiti on it, and, well done. And just this community center that has like a gym on the other side of it or something, or was once a gym. And I was like, this is cool. This is really cool. I've never seen anything like this. It was unique. And it to me, everybody that I was meeting there was like, they were pulled there for a reason. There was community there. It was a different vibe than what I felt in regular crypto interactions out there, at meetups and whatnot. Some of the early meetups that I'd been to, and Bitcoin and XRP and all of these other types were very smart, very focused on the technology kind of folks and whatnot. And then when I got in the Hex community, it was all about community and fun. And then when I went to the blockchain center, it was that same vibe. It was, you guys were having fun and bringing community, but you were serious about what you were doing. Like,
Yep.
Obviously with Marlon at the head of the helm there, he did make a great, cool vibe, but he also was like, hey, let's get some work done. Let's be serious.
Yep.
Let's teach everybody some good stuff. That's what I really liked about the center. It's really unique and different in the space. I've never seen anything like it. And I'd like to see, the Hexican community adopt more of that style of what was going on there, because everybody was kind of crypto agnostic, and more or less good crypto was what they were all looking for and what they were all talking about. That was something that I sensed there. And hats off again to Marlon for what he's done at the Blockchain Center. So good on you. And so tell me a little bit more about this mentorship and what's going on, and what Marlon's helping you guys with.
Yeah. So, Marlon has an initiative. It's called 10 and 5. And essentially what that means is within the next 5 years, he wants Atlanta to be the top 10 city and when it comes to blockchain and crypto. And, he always joked to say that he got 3 years left, or he's moving back to Miami, which he's from. But, I don't know if he's going to move back. We're going to see. But, it's a very, very ambitious goal. And, I'm super excited to even just be in that like core system of it all. But essentially, he has a program called the Immutable Founders Program. And essentially, he allows for individuals that are focusing their startup or their company that's building in Web3 and blockchain to come in, and he provides mentorship and guidance on how to structure your business, have your 1 to 5 minute pitch ready. What's your business plan, your go-to-market, your MVP, just making sure that you got your shit together, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's, actually today he just announced the 4th cohort. Congrats to you all. But we were in Project Pi was in cohort 3. And so, we had to pitch, we had to basically have a business plan and just make sure that we had everything sorted out. So, he's again our mentor. He loves to have fun with us. It's always about having fun, and the community presence is there. But at the end of the day, it's like you got to have your shit together too. So it's like, I love that. And I think that's what it's about. It's having fun, but when it counts, make sure that you are working and make sure that you are striving to have a goal.
Right on. Well, thanks, Chris, for coming. I appreciate you. And I'll tell you what, you definitely have lucked out being such a young entrepreneur and grabbing onto a mentor like Marlon. I mean, he really knows his stuff, and he really has your guys' best interests in mind. And he knows how to pick winners. And I can tell he's really helping groom you guys to be successful. So good luck on you. I'm rooting for you all the way. When Van gets some free time, maybe I can get you both on here again. We can talk more as you guys progress and see how things are going. But keep up the good work, man. I hope to see you guys out on the tour this next year, and probably see you at the Atlanta Blockchain Center when we head out there. Anything else? Any last words you want to give the community before we roll out?
Oh, okay. So last thing I'll say is one, thank you for this opportunity. So amazing. Because it's like we literally watched you on the Richard Hart movie in August, like literally just in August. And then the next month you come to the center, and then we see you on the cruise in December. And now I'm like actually here, and this has been an amazing opportunity. So thank you so much. Again, shout out to Atlanta Blockchain Center. Shout out to Marlon, our mentor. And, if you want to follow our business and everything that we're doing, we're mostly on Twitter at Project Pi 314. My personal Twitter is at Lefty Chris 13. And my partner Van, his Twitter is at Likewise Van. And just keep up with us. We are in the process of, again, just building everything out. Our goal is to have the early staking ready to go by the middle of January. So
nice.
We're making sure that things are not fast. We're working efficiently. It's a difference. But also making sure that we check everything that we do, and just having fun at the same time. So
right on. All right, Chris, thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate you, and we'll see you out there. Good luck to you. Again, rooting for you, my man. Get out there and kick some butt.
For sure. Thank you so much.
See ya. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Actually, on Wednesday, we've got presidential candidate coming on. Going to be awesome. All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. The fundamentals of code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things